And we're back for another episode on the Unfiltered Journey podcast. I am your host, Will. Today's episode is about fatherhood, something that I hold dear to myself, and the guest that I'm going to have on today is a very special person. Oh, here he is. Look at this guy.
You know,
Look at this guy. What's going on, man? How you doing?
man, I'm good. I can't complain, fam.
I
Just up here
appreciate you, man.
still setting up, getting right, wheelchair rolling, which you already know.
Yeah. No,
Man,
man. I appreciate you for coming on today. This topic today that we're talking about, I highly respect you, and so that's why I'm proud to have you on. Um, not
appreciate that.
not in the lightest term of family, but definitely one of the pillars of what family is defined by. Man, I'm really proud of all the things that you've done, and so before we get into all of that, I know you're a sports guy. I know you're a sports guy. NBA
Yeah.
starts tonight, and what you got going on?
Oh, you already know, man. I already got one parlay put in on this Houston game. You feel me? I ain't do my Lakers and Warriors joint yet, but it's a
Okay.
little no sweat token on this first game. So if I lose, I get that back, and then put it on another one. Then
I hear you.
last night I won off baseball. You feel me? So it ain't nothing.
Are you into baseball too?
Well,
Okay.
yeah, I hit two parlays last night, so
Oh, I'm loving that, bro.
same.
So who you think is gonna take it this year?
Well, for what the NBA or the World Series?
NBA.
NBA, man. It's unpredictable. I mean, I'm a heavy LeBron fan. My all time favorite player is Michael Jordan. I see you got the Jordan Olympic jersey in the back. You know what I'm saying? The goat right there. You know what I'm saying? That's the goat. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
man.
The goat.
Yeah.
I don't think my man LeBron is getting another ring, so we can just chalk that up. So I feel for some reason I feel like the Thunder man could repeat, man.
You think so?
I think so, but with the East, how the East is, I feel Carmelo Anthony on this because I watch his show 7 p.m. in Brooklyn. He
Okay.
said the,
That
he said
helps.
the East he said the East is wide open. So for the Knicks, it's either finals or bust. And you know what? I'm like, the Knicks, they should make the finals if they're hungry for it because the East is wide open like that. I mean, we can't really worry about the Cavaliers because we know the Cavaliers, they do good during the season, but playoffs come, they ash in the playoffs.
I mean, I don't know, bro, because I actually got the Cavs coming out of the East this year. I think they put it together. I think Garland stays healthy. They're a complete team. What if we go matchup for matchup? You got Donovan who can cancel out Brunson. You got Mobley who can cancel out Towns. Your weak link on the Knicks is Hart. He doesn't put up the points that he's supposed to consistently do. So I got Cleveland, man. I think they're gonna surprise a lot of teams this year.
I
I
mean,
got Cleveland in that league.
I respect that pick, man. Cleveland, they should have been putting things together, man. I feel like last year they should have had things right. So let's see, man. Hopefully they don't disappoint the people again, man.
That's fire, bro.
Hopefully.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll see what happens. I mean, tonight starts the first Houston OKC is tonight, and then you have the Lakers and Warriors. So
But I make it clear though, like as long as these niggas make my parlays work, that's all I really care about. No, I like the sport though, but they better make my parlays work, man.
well, again, I appreciate you for coming on, bro. Definitely want to get started into this again. Like I said, this topic, fatherhood, I really admire you and your journey in this. And so, the first thing I'm gonna ask you, man, first tell the people a little bit about yourself, give them your social media platforms and everything like that.
All right, well, since I'm telling people about myself, I'm gonna start off with the government. I know a lot of people don't even like to put their government out there, but I love my name, so I'm going there. It's your boy Phillip Brian Wells II. Saying no,
He threw the
born.
middle name out there.
Yeah, I'm giving a middle name, all of that. Born. I was born in Detroit, but 914 all day because that's where I was raised at. YO up. You feel me? 313 is in the blood though. Shout out to
Yes,
Detroit and
sir.
all that. You know, um, me man, I'm just a father doing this thing with the music. I'm living with Becker's muscular dystrophy. That's a rare muscle disease. So
Yes,
I'm
yes.
out here keeping it pushing, keeping it rolling. Shout out to all my fellow people that's in the disabled community that need help with keeping it rolling and keep it pushing because it's tough out here for us. But as long
Yeah.
as we keep our spirits high, keep the faith, we're gonna be good.
So the first question I got for you is, what's the biggest lesson that fatherhood has taught you about yourself so far?
The biggest lesson, for me, it's patience.
Mm,
Fatherhood has taught me patience. I mean, in the beginning, I used to be like so impulsive towards things because you want to be there for your kids super heavy, but sometimes I was realizing I was like too impulsive, rushing things and causing little unnecessary drama in the midst of things. So gotta hold myself accountable for that. So as I grew more into fatherhood, I learned more to be patient with things. Patience is really definitely a virtue, and it has helped make my path much easier with fatherhood. Even though there's still bumps in the road, but what's life without bumps in the road? You feel me?
yeah, yeah. I know. I mean, I would definitely agree with you on that part. I think that when I had my son first, um, learning how to be a dad, like especially no manual, was hard because, like, just very like, you know what I mean? Especially somebody that had a short temper and things like that. So I think that was one of the biggest lessons that I had to learn too, was how to be patient and really kind of see things through. So that was a pretty big lesson for me as well. I mean, you have two kids, so which came first? Your daughter came first, right?
Now,
Your son?
my son was first.
Okay, okay, okay.
My daughter was second, which I'm happy for that because she slowed my roll. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I feel like girls have a habit of doing that, where it's just like with the boys you're rough and tough, and all of a sudden we get soft when that girl come around.
I mean, I had to, man, because I had my son first. I was still thinking I could be smooth player with the
Yeah,
ladies and all that. You know what I'm saying? Then once the daughter came, it's like, yeah, operation shut down, man. You gotta chill off that.
that's a lesson in itself. So how has being a father shaped the way you see like your purpose and the success in your life? Because you're a music artist and you're a very dope music artist. So how does that shape everything around you?
I mean, fatherhood for me has definitely just given me, more of a reason to live. Like I'm always grateful for everything. I always see every day as another day. But knowing I got my kids, it makes me go harder. It makes me, you know, tell more of my story. Like, makes me feel like I have an extra claim to glory.
Right, right, yeah. So it's something that's your extra motivation in the morning, and it keeps you going when
Yeah,
you don't.
that's
Yeah,
that extra motivation. Though I keep myself self motivated because you always got to have that self motivation. But I,
right,
I
right.
love that extra motivation. I love the fact that my kids love me. I know they do love me. They appreciate everything I do for them. So that just gets me going. Like,
I appreciate that, man. You got to tell me, like, what's your funny dad moment? Something that you think about till today, you still laugh about. Like,
and I got some current for you, right? It's current now. Every time I say you feel me, I think about this because talking to my daughter, she's telling me about some things she's dealing with in school and stuff like that. So I'm telling her, no, I'm just breaking down to her like how she can handle that situation. And at the end of it, I just go, "You feel me?" So she started laughing. I'm like, "What are you laughing about?" She's like, "You're too old to be saying you feel me." I'm like, "What are you talking about? I'm too old to say you feel me."
yeah,
So the next day, I call my son. So I'm like, "Yo, your sister she said I'm too old to say you feel me." I'm like, "How do you think about that?" Now my son, he's laid back, calm, smooth. He's just like, he said, "Well, that's her opinion. My sister's different like that. That's her opinion." He said, "But Dad, you can keep saying you feel me. You're not too old for that." So every time I hear you feel me now, I laugh and think about the conversations I had with my kids. Like that's the current joint right now.
I feel like with the girls, man, they have a way of trying to check you. You know what I mean? In the softest but realistic way ever. Like my daughter, I was hanging out with her. We went down. I went down to Florida because she moved down there. And every time I would get close to her, bro, she'd be like, "All right, Dad, come on, like I'm cramping her style." You know what I mean? Like, all right, like you on me, like come on,
Yeah.
back up. Just like, yo, come on, like you think you like I see you tomorrow or something. Like,
Mhm.
relax. So
She like
I
she
think,
like nah. Like I know you here, but let me have my
yeah.
swag on. Like you doing too much right now.
Right, yo, I swear, I was just like, and we were in Tampa, and it was so funny because I'm talking to her, I'm like, da da da. We was at this place called Riverwalk Terrace, right by the river and everything. And I'm like, oh, da 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 da. And she's like trying to tell me, like, yo, you gotta calm down. Like, act like an adult. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, bruh, like, what? What do you mean?
Like,
She's like, relax.
yeah,
You know what I'm
relax. It's
saying?
like it's too much energy right now.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
chill out. But it's like, yo, what you expect? I'm excited to see you. Like, what you talking about?
Yeah, so it was crazy though because it was funny where it was like when I was leaving, so I had to drop her off and catch my flight, and I started to tear up. I'm like, damn, I'm gonna miss my shorty. Like, so I was telling my life coach, and I'm like, I think y'all making me soft. Like, I'm over here tearing up in front of her and stuff. Like,
But that's how it is with the girls. Like I said, I got a daughter, so I know how that feel.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
You
it's
know,
it's rough.
with the son, you're gonna try to hold it because that's
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know
You got.
that's father son. But with your daughter, like you do get a soft spot there.
Yeah, that was crazy. I know fatherhood isn't easy, and how do you handle moments when you feel like you're not doing enough or you're falling short?
Moments like that. You know what's crazy? I haven't had a moment like that in a while because when I would have the moments where I would feel like I'm falling short and questioning myself,
Mhm.
I'm good at snapping myself back into reality and checking myself. So anytime I would have those moments, I would check myself and be like, you are doing what you got to do. Don't let what's being said deter you when you know you're doing everything you got to do. You know you have receipts everything you do. You know your kids love you. You know your kids appreciate whatever you do for them. They appreciate all the phone calls, gifts, and everything. So it's like don't listen to what's going on. Don't overthink because that was another issue I used to have with fatherhood, is just overthinking everything.
Right, right.
So once I got over the overthinking and doubting myself with that, I haven't had one of those moments in a long time. It's like, can't nobody tell me nothing. Can't nobody hit me with that. Oh, you don't do enough. I know what I do. Can't nobody tell me no different. If you don't believe what I do, let my kids talk to you. They tell you I'm their superhero. So as
There
long
you
as I
go.
got that confirmation, I don't really care about nothing else.
How would you advise somebody who is coming into fatherhood? I think that there's a lesson in all that we're going to talk about today, but how would you advise somebody, especially on something like that, who's just now getting into fatherhood?
Um, my best advice would I just tell them do your best to remain level headed. You know, always love your child no matter what. Just know it's always going to be bumps in the road here and there, but do your best to remain patient. You know, think with logic as men are supposed to do, not go off emotion. Because when you go off your emotion, you're gonna make the wrong choice. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be bad. Don't go off your emotion. Be logical. Learn to calm down. You know what I'm saying? And just make sure you're doing the best you can do and keep yourself motivated. And know that your kid love you and that you're here for a reason and you're here for them.
That's fire. I think the most important thing is what you said, just to be there for them. That was a lesson that I had to learn too. Um, you know, and you said it a few times, you're gonna make mistakes. And that's something that I no longer beat myself up for because I made a lot of mistakes coming up as a father, especially with my son, my first son, my first child, made a lot of mistakes. And then when my daughter came along, I think that's like what you said is parallel. I kind of like slowed down a lot, especially the way I would think and how I would react. And I think that not giving up, always being present was like the main thing that they always want from you because they don't always say it. But I think for me, when I had to learn that it wasn't about giving them the life that I'd never had or the materials that I'd never had, it was just about being there. You know what I'm saying? And being present, showing up at the recital that my daughter had, like, being able to see it. She knew I was there, even if it was on FaceTime. Like, she was happy with that. So that was a very valuable lesson that I had to learn, especially with that. How do you balance being a dad, chasing your
Yeah.
goals and growth? I mean, again, you gotta dip into that bag, bro, because you're a rapper. So I mean, how do you do that?
I mean, me, how I do it, I just prioritize, and you always gotta go after what's the priority first, and of course, the kids is the priority. So that's I'm gonna always look at them first. I feel like as long as you prioritize, you move proper, it's easy to balance because though I like my music and I rap and all that, it's like that can't come up that can't come ahead of my kids because my kids didn't ask to be here.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So by me following that guideline and prioritizing, for me it's easy. I'm like, all right, I know I got my schedule set. How I'm gonna do this for my kids, and then boom, I do this for my disability and all that. Then I get to my music. That's why sometimes I be up late, extra hours, like ain't sleep because it's like, yo, I did this night, now it's time for my music. I gotta just balance. I just found the balance. Like, once you get used to it, it's easy as one, two, three. Once you're used to it,
I
you
mean,
know.
I do see you. You do be holding some vampire hours, bro.
So
Yeah, I see that. I'm like, yo, why is he still up? So that makes
yeah, I
sense.
mean, sometimes I deal with insomnia because of the medication I take, but
Okay.
with
Okay.
those times of insomnia, I be up looking for content to create. Got beats playing. I'm doing multiple things like beats playing, content to create, writing rhymes here and there. And I got to do my parlays here and there and all that too. So everything is there at one time. You just gotta balance it and multitask.
Do you ever feel stressed out, tired from trying to balance it all? I mean, I know you said it sounds easy, but there's got to be moments where it does
Um,
get tiring.
only time I really be stressed is when I'm tired. Just when I want to go to sleep, I can't go to sleep. But it never be I never be stressed from what I got to do because I know what I got to do. So can't be
Right.
stressed from doing what you're supposed to be doing. If you're stressed from doing what you're supposed to be doing, it's like, bro, you kind of you really bugging out. But I mean, it's gonna happen, but you can't necessarily just stay stressed from doing what you're supposed to do. Like you want to eat, right? You want to make sure everybody else eat. Like you want to be comfortable in some shape or form. So you know, turn that stress. If you are having a lot of stress, let that be motivation. Turn that stress into something positive.
How do you guide somebody through um, that moment? Because sometimes some people just don't have the will or the fortitude to do that. Like, well, what way would you tell them to be able to balance that and not feel like they got to give up?
Um, me, I say with that, you gotta, of course, you're gonna love your kids. You gotta love your kids. Now, if you ain't doing right by your kids, that ain't gonna work well. You gotta do everything in order. So you got to make sure that's right first. And once you know you got your priorities right first, then everything else will flow. But you got to make sure you love what you're doing. That's the main thing. If you don't love what you're doing, of course you're going to stress yourself out because the only thing you think about is, oh, I got to get money off this. I got to make it like this. Nah, when you love something, everything else is going to flow. But you got to make sure your heart is really in it. So put your priorities first. Whatever dreams and goals you got, make sure your heart is really in that, and you'll succeed.
So you know what's so amazing? This is kind of like the little in between. And I meant to ask you about this when we first started. So there's this thing on Instagram. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but this dad, and he's separated from the mom, but the mom's a cop, and so she's basically been using her badge to keep the kids away from the dad. Have you seen something like that on
No,
Instagram?
I haven't seen that. This is intriguing. So she's a cop
Yeah.
using her
So
badge.
yeah, so she's a cop, and the dad is. I'm pretty sure there's a lot more to the story. And the dad, apparently, from what has been recorded, is like he tries to go see his kid. She's been making false reports, things of that nature, and has basically been keeping the kids away from the father. And it's funny because it's like as dads, we deal with that in real life. Like this is just social media. I was like, this funny how this shows up now, or this is what we're talking about. Um, Again, you don't have to get so deep into it, but have you ever had to experience something like that where the situation isn't going right between yourself and the mother, and things of that has transpired?
Nah, not really. I mean, in the beginning, I mean, because I do pay child support, and meanwhile, I threw that in there for y'all that just think anybody just paying child support, that's all they do. No, I'm one of those fathers that do pay his child support, and I make sure I do things outside the child support, so everything is taken care of. So I know people like to jump to, oh, you on child support because you ain't doing what the hell you got to do. No, it don't work like that. Not in my situation. I'm not going to go too crazy. I had my dirt in the game.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did things I did, so I take my consequences. It ain't nothing. Like it only gets dirtier, but you got to rise above that.
right. No, I mean I agree with you. When I heard about that situation, I was like, it's very unfortunate, but it's so realistic that a lot of us have to deal with things like that. And what sucks is that the system sometimes is so blinded or jaded towards men that it doesn't even give us a chance. And again, benefit of the doubt, I don't know the whole story, but I just found
Yeah.
it intriguing that that story kind of popped up at this time when we was about to do this episode. I'm in the same boat as you, bro. I pay child support too. I did have a situation where, and even now, currently, I have a strained relationship with my son. Um, Part of it, again, me being accountable because of the parent that I was in the very beginning, not knowing how to move and act as a father, thinking that all of it was mostly just financial stuff, not understanding that it's more to being a dad than just, well, make sure he has his clothes, make sure he has this, make sure he has that. Financial, it was all the intangibles, you know what I mean? So I had to learn that along the way. But throughout the years, because now he's 20, and we have a very strained relationship that just resonated with me a lot because it felt like, for me, no matter what I could have done, it was
Yeah.
always something that kind of still prevented us from being able to have a actual relationship. Now, again, I have to hold myself accountable for certain behaviors and things of that nature that, enabled that. But I also felt as if I tried to make things right, that the counterpart, his mother, didn't help in certain situations. So I kind of resonated with that, and I just wanted to see if that was something that you've ever had to deal with. Again, I respect you as a man, as a father. You do a great
I mean,
job.
trust. I got some like situations I have though, but I'll tell you, I'll tell you that off cam because I don't want to make it seem like I'm bash anybody, but facts is facts at the end of the day. I just say this, man. Whatever you're going through, just remain patient, keep your head up, and the main thing, take accountability for your actions. Once you take accountability for what you did wrong,
Yeah,
you'll be able to make things better for yourself because you're not in denial no more.
right,
Even
right,
even if even if the counterpart you had the child with is in denial of their stuff, whatever, you got to remember that's not your cross to bear. They got to carry that cross. So if they want to lie and do all this craziness, they making their own cross heavier. You
right,
making your cross lighter by doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you could get a win like Brian McKnight if you do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? You see, he got the 8.8 million off his ex-wife trying to defame his character that it cost like 8.8 million.
right. And
So
no, I agree with you, and that's one of my big words for myself and to people. I tell a lot of people, especially the ones that surround me, you got to be accountable. You
yeah,
got to hold yourself accountable no matter what. Accountability, and I spoke about this in the last episode, accountability is not guilt, it's not shame. It's just saying, like, hey, I did this, I messed up. And what are you going to do to fix that? You know what I'm saying? So I think you said it right. It makes your load lighter by being accountable. And to the guys out there who's actually just stepping into fatherhood or finding it hard to coexist with the mother of your child, just be accountable for your actions. You don't need to make them feel like they got to be accountable for their own. That's on their own time and that's in their own spirit and soul. So, for the guys out there that is feeling like it's hard and stuff like that, breathe. I feel like if you breathe and you realize what you can try to do on your end to make things better between you two, again, the goal is about making sure that the kids is taken care of, that you can coexist within that relationship and make sure that the kids are happy about that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Never do it in front of them. Do the best that you can to, keep it away from them. But again, things will happen. So that's amazing.
and see, you said it right. Make sure you could coexist because it's the kids that's most important. I
Yeah.
try to tell other dudes that complain to me about certain situations. I'm just like, bro, like the kids is what's important. Like, why you trying to do that? Why you trying to do? You making the road tough on yourself. Focus on what's the main thing, and that's the kids.
Yeah, man. It's crazy because even at this age, I'm still learning that like my daughter's mom, like we're starting to have a good relationship, and I realized because I used to be like, you don't see how you do this, you don't see how you, and I just be like, wait, nah, you're gonna have to see that on your own. So I'm just focused over here on this. And then now all of a sudden it's just like everything just become lighter. Like, oh yeah, okay. You know what I mean? Like I kind of hit them with the, oh
Yeah.
okay. You know what I'm saying? But the goal is like making sure that my kids is taken care of, and it does make things easier, especially when you don't divulge your energy into something that's distracting you from what the main objective is, which is taking care of the kids.
Exactly. And that all circles right back around to patience, logic, and accountability. You
Yeah.
apply those, you're gonna make your path easier for yourself.
Listen. You got to be real, fellas. It's not easy. I will tell you that.
Nah,
They will
it's
try
not
you.
easy. It's gonna take a while to get there. Trust me. It's
They
gonna
gonna
be
try you.
it's gonna be
They,
hard. And especially if you out here was player doing some dirt, is you gotta deal with that karma. Because karma come
yeah,
back. It might
yeah.
not come back in the same shape or form. That's why they say karma's a bitch, because karma never come back to you in the same shape or
Yeah,
form. It can
yeah,
come
yeah.
back to you in different ways. So hold yourself accountable, be patient, and use your logic.
I definitely agree. So, one thing, you've been diagnosed with a disability, right? I don't even want to
Yeah.
call it that. I don't even know how to really call it. I don't think it's that, because with the will and determination you have, it's not even a disability. I can't even call it that.
Yeah, I
But
mean, I don't made my disability part of my abilities. You know, give me more to speak on. You know, I definitely was in the nursing home at 2 points. You know, I had to
right,
do rehab in there, but even being in the nursing home, I got the older folks in there because I was the youngest person in there. I got the older folks that didn't even want to work out. I had them working out, getting right. You know what I'm saying, because a lot of people in nursing home they don't get visitors, so it was like to a lot of them, being I was the youngest one. To a lot of them, it's like I was a grandson to them, like a grandson they never had.
love
You
that.
know, and I still got a couple of them I call to this day and check on them, speak sports with about. So, you know, I got to help get them right. So it just give me more to my story. Like I tell people, I'm a multifaceted person. Like people see me online, you know, putting up my crazy jokes and all that. But it's like if you sit down and have a real conversation with me, you'll see. It's not all jokes all day. I mean, I can make anything into a joke, but I really got different layers to me. You just gotta pull them back. Like I can't show everybody them layers like that because not everybody deserves that energy.
Facts. I agree. Can you give some background to what muscular dystrophy is for those that don't know?
All right, well, I'm gonna break it down. It's two different versions of muscular dystrophy. You got the Becker's muscular dystrophy, and you got the Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Now, Becker's muscular dystrophy, that's what I have. That's the mild kind of muscular dystrophy, which
So you were explaining the two different types of muscular dystrophy.
yeah, the two different type of muscular dystrophies. You got Becker's muscular dystrophy, which is the mild kind, is but it's still fatal because it affects the heart. That's the one that I have, and I'll get into detail why it affects the heart in a few. But then you got the other one, Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Now that one is the worst kind. Like if I had that one right now, I'd basically be like almost a vegetable in the sense like wouldn't be able to dress myself. You know, wouldn't be able to clean myself. So everything would have to be done for me if I had to Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Now with the Becker's muscular dystrophy, I'm still able to dress myself. I do use a sliding board to help me slide back and forth onto the bed and all that. No, I do need help like getting on the commode and getting into my shower chair, little things like that. But for the most part, I'm still active to do a lot of things. Now
Right.
with the Beckers, because Duchenne can affect your heart as well, but I'm gonna go into my situation. That's why I had to get a heart transplant because it affected the muscle to the heart. So before I even got the transplant, I had this machine called an LVAD. Now a lot of people don't know what an LVAD is. I'll break that down. An LVAD is called a left ventricle assistance device. So that was plugged into me. I had wires on me. That was plugged into me to keep the heart going till I got the new heart. And then once I got the new heart, you know, I had to get cut open again. So in the total, I got cut open 3 times. So I had to get a pacemaker first on my original heart. Then my original heart had stopped, went into cardiac arrest. Had to get the LVAD. And then once I got approved for the heart transplant, had to get the LVAD cut out of me, then get the heart put into me, the new heart. So I cut three different times. That's why I was like, I really don't complain. I find a reason to laugh a lot because it's like, yo, like I'm still here. I could have been out of here
Right. Yeah.
on two separate occasions. Like first when I was born, my heart stopped for 5 minutes. And then the cardiac arrest, I had the cardiac arrest in my mom's arm. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
it's a lot, but you know, I keep it going, man. Like, nah, I ain't gonna lie. Have I cried about stuff like that? Yeah, I've been been cried, I've been frustrated, but on the brighter end, I'm still here. So it means God kept me here for a reason.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, like, that I admire about you, because of all that you've been through, and you've still been able to face everything with a smile. Stand, pardon the language, but standing up tall to every challenge that you've had. And every time we talk, every time I'm around you, it's always smiling, it's always laughing, it's always, and it's a lot that when we talk about things like this, people tend to want to just give up. And you didn't give up. So I find it very inspiring that you found a way to still be motivating to people, to still look at the brighter side of life, to, still be able to accomplish your goals. And that's why I said, like, for the last 3 days, I'm like, I don't want to call this a disability, and I don't know another word to call it, but I feel like it's just an ability, right? Like, I feel like you've been able to turn that around, that negative notion of it being a disability, to something to say, look, I'm able to do this, and I've been through this, and that's another story in itself. And that's why it's like, it's very important for me to ask you, and maybe you can give some advice to people out there. Having this ability, how has it influenced the way you've approached parenting, and the way you teach and connect and communicate with your kids?
Um, well, it's definitely added extra substance for how I communicate with my kids because I give them a whole another perspective on life and how not to give up. I'm basically showing them strength and resilience. So not only are they hearing it from me, but they actually see it too. Like
Right.
they see it so much to the point that when I laugh and make jokes about my own disability, they really don't like it. They don't like it when I'm just like, nah, I'm just showing you the strength to keep going. I understand you may not like the jokes, but maybe you understand it as you get older to see that it's just me keeping a good spirit. Can't keep myself down because if I'm down, I ain't gonna be able to be there for myself. I ain't gonna be able to be there for y'all. So I gotta keep the spirit up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's an amazing thing, because I feel like that in itself, it's a different, like, it's a different perspective that you have as far as when you approach fatherhood, which is like, how do they think about it? Like, can you tell me what they think, their perspective of the strength and resilience that you're showing throughout this 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 fatherhood transition you're in?
I mean, I know for a fact they may not say it, but I could tell by how they still communicate with me that they happy I'm still here. I'm saying they just I could tell they just appreciate everything more because when I was going through that situation, like not excluding my son, but when I first came out the coma, I thought my mom had my daughter with her. So, but see, I understand why I thought about my daughter more because I was worried about at the time where she was at. So, my son, I knew he was good, but at that time, there was a little friction going on with me and my daughter's mother. I was trying to figure out where my daughter was at and stuff like that. So, through all that, even though they don't say it, I could tell they real appreciative of me. Like through my situation, they see that all right, he's definitely keeping it pushing out. And I think sometimes my kids don't really want to talk about it because I think they're trying to be considerate of my feelings for it. Even though I tell them we could definitely talk about it all the time, but I understand they might not want to talk about it too much because it probably bother them some a little bit. But at the same time, I'll appreciate it. I can't blame them for if it bothers them some because they're human and I'm
Right.
their father. So of course they're gonna be like, "Nah, I don't want to see my dad going through this. I don't really want to hear much, but I know he's keeping it pushing. I know he's good."
That's dope. That's fire. So they're very understanding, and they know about that. Um, Now, of course, do you ever feel like you face some challenges and difficulties in fatherhood with this ability?
Um, not really, man. I look on the thing because I look so much on the brighter side of things that if there is difficulty there, I really don't see it because I'm always like everything is going to work itself out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's a great approach to just life in general, especially with a lot of the guys that's coming out. I feel like that's one thing I think we should really focus on, is that things will always work itself out. Not a lot of people will have major challenges. It's just how we're approaching those situations, and just being able to actually look at life in the way that what you basically said, it'll all work out. So that's the amazing part about that. If you had the if you had a manual, if you had to write your own manual, the Phillip Wells Manual of Fatherhood, and you had to add your own advice specifically to dads who are living with unique circumstances or disability, what would be in that book?
I mean, the book will be surrounded about around the three things we always keep coming back around to, and that's that's patience, logic, and what's the other drive? I would say. Yeah, I forget the third one, man. I'm up here like see my
Yeah,
mind be going.
I'm big on
Oh, and
accountability.
matter of fact, yeah, patience, logic, and accountability. There we go. Like
Yeah.
that book could be mainly heavily surrounded on that, and then I gotta have a whole nother chapter for fathers that have disabilities. It's only right I give that a whole separate chapter. But the main book got to be around patience, logic, and accountability because those three things have made the bumps in the road easier for me. Like it's like I said, it's always gonna be bumps in the road. If you want to make it easier, patience, logic, and accountability.
I mean, you definitely give me some of the information that you would put in that chapter, you know, as far as the disabilities and the unique circumstances come
Oh,
from.
the I mean, it definitely would start off like yeah, just give them one line. They wouldn't like first they would think about it first. I'd be like, your unique circumstances is what makes you unique. And once you embrace how unique you really are, you understand you can make the best of any circumstance you're in.
Mm,
You can always see the bright side, like, and always remember what may be a bad day to you is a good day to somebody else.
that's fire. I have to. That is fire. I'm stealing that. Okay, just so you
You know
know.
what I'm saying? Go right
I'm
ahead. I don't
still,
know, man.
I'm stealing that, so you
What
know.
may be a bad day to you is a good day to somebody else.
Yeah, no, and that's the amazing thing. I think that's some sound advice for people. Um, when your kids are grown, what do you hope that they say about you? And the kind of man that you shown your son to be, and the kind of man that your daughter will be able to tell the story about.
Well, I just want them to be able to tell the story of how I've given them substance, perspective, strength, resilience. I've always shown them how to, keep the faith. Always make sure you keep a smile and can joke through your circumstances while still taking them serious. But make sure you do what you got to do. You know, I would love for them to be able to take my communication skills and talk to people. Even if they decide to get into music one day, whatever it is, to express themselves to people to get people to realize what it is. I just hope they just take all the skills I'm giving them and everything I've shown them and use them and just remember me by doing everything I showed them correctly. Like keep my name alive, keep my legacy going.
So, any last bit of advice for new fathers, for fathers who's going through any situation, something that they can hold on to. Again, I'm going back to that Instagram. I'll send it to you too. I gotta find it and I'll send it to you. It's a crazy thing, but any advice that you feel is fitting for fathers of modern day, because there's always a new father being born, just like kids, and
Right.
anything you can share with parenting in general.
To new fathers out there, I want y'all to know, even though it may not be easy, there's no manual on this on fatherhood, but I want y'all to remain confident, remain strong. Know what you got to do for your kids. Always keep the main thing the main thing. As long as you keep the main thing, which is the kids, you always rise above. It's definitely gonna get tough. It's not easy, and you will make it rough on yourself because it goes right back to those three things: patience, logic, and accountability. Man,
Yeah, yeah.
you hold on to those, you'll be all right. I know you're gonna get frustrated. It's gonna be times you may break down, you may cry. If you mess up anywhere, just make sure you hold yourself accountable and just make the best of it. Make the main thing, and that's the kids. Don't try to do all that extra stuff if y'all not seeing eye to eye with the co-parent. Don't try to Don't try to still slide up on that. Do nah. If that chapter's done right there, leave that where it's at. Do what you got to do for the kids. That's the main thing.
I
So keep the main thing the main thing. Don't do all that other stuff. If certain chapters is dead, just focus on the chapter that's going to be alive, and that's the kids.
keep watering the garden, which is the kids, and so they can grow into being
Exactly.
strong. Yes, yes, yes.
Keep watering the garden. Don't do nothing else, man. Don't be as the Muslims will say. Don't be haram. You feel me? Don't be unlawful. Don't be
A lot
forbidden.
of people won't get that one.
You know what I'm saying? Don't be haram. Be halal. You get what I'm saying?
I definitely get that, and I want to say thank you, bro. I really appreciate you for joining me on this episode. I know we spoke about you coming back because again, you're a big sports guy. We got a
Oh
sports.
yeah, I definitely gotta come back, man. You already know what time it is, and me and Bashar gotta get you on audio. You fan, man. So you know how it is, man. Like
You
you
know
know
me.
how
I'm
it go,
always
man.
ready. I'm always ready. I'm just diving into this. Again, I appreciate it. I respect you as a man, as a father, and all that you've shown throughout life. I mean, like I said, you are the definition of what family truly is, and that's something that I can always truly appreciate.
And same to you, fam. I can appreciate you as well, man. As a man, as a father, you definitely do everything you got to do. You're an inspiration for me. I see you on the gram traveling, got the suits and all that. So I was like, yo, I gotta get up there, like. So you definitely an inspiration to me. You hold it down. So I want to see you keep going and keep prospering and keep winning. Winning more than you already are winning because you definitely winning already.
Thank
So
you, brother. Thank you, man. So again, thank you. This is another episode of the Unfiltered Journey podcast, Fatherhood, with my co-host, my guest, my family, my loved one, Phil. Man, I appreciate you, brother.
appreciate you too, fam. Love you and all that. And before I forget, I forgot that, you told me to get to my IG and stuff. Stage name is P Bills. If you want to check out the music, find my music videos on YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at P Bills 313 to 914. Everything is there. Show love to the content. Everything is from jokes, sports, real life. Everything is there.
The podcast.
Oh yeah, can't forget. Shout out to my bro Bashar. Here's the kicker podcast. Log on to that on YouTube, subscribe and everything. It's definitely a lot of sports on there too. A lot of different jokes and stuff. So just logging on the content. Also follow my cousin's podcast, the Unfiltered Journey podcast. You know what I'm saying? It's fire. A lot of real talk on here, a lot of wisdom, a lot of substance. Y'all need to get in tune with that. Stop being haram out here because a lot of y'all is super dirty and y'all need to clean your act up. I know we all sinners and all that, but you ain't got to sin so damn much. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it only gets dirtier.
It only gets dirtier.
I appreciate you, bro, very much. Thank you, man. Everything will be in the bio and everything of that nature. Again, man, I appreciate you for joining me today, and definitely we're gonna get up in the next episode.
Or appreciate you too, fam. Love is love as always.
As always, brother. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right.
Appreciate it.